Well, hi, folks. My name is Steve Ramo. I just wanted to take a few minutes to introduce myself to you so that you could kind of put a voice to a face. Online education can sometimes be very impersonal, but I've been doing it for a long time, and I try to make it as personal as possible between you as a student and me as an instructor. The best part of my day certainly can be just having a conversation with somebody or emailing back and forth with a student about a concept that may be a little difficult to understand, or be able to expand on something that we may see as black and white at times. So I want to give you a little bit of a background. I know that you had opportunity, or may have had opportunity, to read my short bio and see that my work experience is extremely eclectic. Well, my work experience is about as eclectic as where I grew up and where I lived. Anyway, I was actually born in Brooklyn, New York, and for my growing up years through elementary school, it was in a small little farming community in the middle of North Dakota. We then, after about 9 years or so, moved to Duluth, Minnesota, where most of my siblings still reside, and their spouses, and a lot of my nieces and nephews. So I get out there as often as I possibly can because I love my family and I love to see them and be able to keep those connections alive and well. So I'm out there usually twice a year. In fact, I have 5 nieces and nephews that attended and received their undergrad degrees from Bethel University. So I have a good understanding of Bethel University, have a great respect for the faculty and staff and for the mission and vision that they placed before them. So it's really an honor to be one of the instructors here. All right, so after graduating high school, which was a private high school in Fergus Falls, Minnesota, not too far from where you are, possibly, if you live in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I spent 1 year in college at the University of Minnesota Duluth, turned down a football scholarship. I was, about 150 pounds and a real fast guy, but there are guys that were about 225 pounds and really fast guys, and I decided, I didn't want to die that way. So I spent a year at the University of Minnesota Duluth, decided my history major and political science minor wasn't really going to suit me real well, so I joined the Coast Guard and spent 10 years in the Coast Guard. During that time, I served in the Presidential Honor Guard in Washington, D.C., served on an air station, Marine Safety Office, a small buoy tender up in Adak, Alaska. And during that time, I also met and married my wife. And we've been married for 43 years. So it's been wonderful, wonderful time. Following my years in the Coast Guard, I decided I wanted to go back to school and actually prove to myself that I could get an undergrad degree, and decided to choose accounting. So bean counter, here I come. I did graduate with an accounting degree, and then went to work for a multinational corporation as an internal forensic auditor, working both here in the States and in Liberia, West Africa. Probably the most enjoyable experience was in Liberia. I loved the people in Liberia. I loved the work that I did. But they decided to have a coup d'etat over there, and we were only able to stay there 3 years. And once I determined that we couldn't bring our families back to Liberia, it was an easy decision for me to say, thank you for the big bucks and thank you for the opportunity, but I don't want to work in Liberia for 100 days, come home for 30 days, and keep that up for years and years and years. So I went to work for a private company as a controller, comptroller, worked for county government for a number of years in their accounting and finance department, became a director of a division. And then for the 10 years before I started working in higher education as an instructor full-time, I worked as an executive pastor at the church with whom we had been affiliated. And by the time I left, we had been affiliated with them for 27 years. So, eclectic, yes, absolutely eclectic. We still are in Washington State, are grown, married children with grandchildren, live here in Washington State, and it would be pretty hard to move out of this part of the country with our kids and grandkids here. All right, this program. You have a great understanding of this program. I think it's an excellent program. I have a great passion for strategic leadership since my doctoral studies, and my doctoral degree is in strategic leadership. The textbooks that you'll be using, The Evolving Self, The Talent Masters, and certainly The Return of the Prodigal Son by Henry Nouwen will provide a good foundation for you. And how are we then going to take those concepts, specifically in Return of the Prodigal Son, and evolve those into this whole study of leadership and strategic talent management? It'll be a good journey. The case studies that are provided by the Harvard Business Review are excellent as well. So, all of that. Make sure that you get in contact with me, okay? If for any reason you have questions, concerns, comments, whether it be about a concept, whether it be how to apply a concept to a real-life situation, or whether you disagree with me on my perspective on how well you did on a paper or posting or whatever it might be, get in contact with me. Sometimes I can be very black and white, I'll be honest with you. I've been accused of having the redemptive gift of a prophet, which means that we see things very black and white and our gray zone is, is quite narrow. But I've experienced the love and the grace and the mercy of God, and I've also learned how to extend it as well. So my gray area, my mercy and grace area have expanded considerably over the years. So contact me. I love to communicate with students. This is the best part of my day, with interaction with my responsibilities as an instructor. All right, emails, they do come to my cell phone, so you can send me a direct email. You can actually text me. My number is my cell phone number, and you can also call me. If I don't answer right away with regards to a phone call, it could be that I don't recognize your phone number, and a lot of times I won't pick up a phone and answer a call when I don't recognize a number. But if you leave me a message, I'll give you a call right back. Okay? Well, listen, the scripture says that man makes his plans and God orders his steps. Certainly in my life, that's the way it's been. My plan was to be with one organization until I retired. Obviously, God didn't allow that because he ordered my steps differently, not only in my work experience, but also in my teaching experience, and also in my education experience. So it's been quite unique. I wouldn't change a thing, and I hope you won't either. So, best of success. Let's be in contact. I'm a real person. I'm pretty easygoing, like I said, and I would love to get to know you and be able to help you be successful in this venture. All right, Lord bless you. We'll be in contact. Bye now.